us. Ask us questions. Ask us questions, as many as you want. There is no silly questions, okay? And actually go and see if you can intern with some people. I'm always interested in having interns at our job, at our office. I know a lot of other architects who are as well. We are always willing to lend a hand and teach the future people. I joke with my students, and I say, I push you guys very hard because you guys are going to be, when I get a little bit older, you guys are going to be designing the buildings that I have to actually exist in. So I want you guys to design the best buildings humanly possible. So just explore. And then the last thing that I would advise you guys to do is in the field of architecture and design and building is to travel. Get outside. We live in a relatively young community here in South Florida, and to just be able to travel the world and take every opportunity at the age that you guys are, take it, explore, wander, visit, talk to people, stare, draw, those kind of things. That would be my advice. All right? Oh, you got one.
All right, thank you, Christopher. I did want to throw in a quick comment about two things that Christopher, Mr. Johnson suggested. One was internships. I cannot impress upon you the importance of an internship, all right? It's an opportunity for you to really get a feeling of what the career would be like, and it's a great opportunity for your potential employer to see what kind of a person you are, what skills you have, what's your work ethic, and all those other things. So internships are critical if you're going to get into a profession. And the other thing, I was so glad that he mentioned about traveling. When I go around, I love to look at buildings. And if you look at a well-designed and all the architectural awarded buildings are all involved in mathematics. When you look at it and you see a flying buttress, what do you really see? You see a parabola and an archstone. What is that? That's the maximum point of a parabola, inverted parabola, et cetera. So you see calculus, you see math, et cetera. The great things that humans have designed all involve some form of mathematics. All right, next we have Marcia Ward. And Marcia?
Morning. It's great to see so many students here today. So I'm a biologist. I work with the state of Florida with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, and I work in the Everglades. So what I do and my staff of biologists and technicians do is manage wildlife management areas out in the Everglades. So there's a lot of things happening out there with recreation and hunting and also the wildlife species and the habitats they live in. So that's what we do on a day-to-day basis. As far as using math, it's used in a lot of ways. One big way is we get a budget to do different land management type projects. And so we have a certain amount of money that we can use to get the most work that we can get done. And so we have to use math to figure out how many acres we can treat exotics on or prescribe burn on. We do some wildlife surveys from helicopters so that we have to figure out how much area we can cover, how many hours we need to fly. Also, statistics are used a lot in wildlife ecology and wildlife biology. Use statistics to look at wildlife populations and get an idea of those populations and trends and how they're doing and if there's any sort of management you can do to affect those populations. We get a lot of data from hunting check stations, and that can also give you some more information about wildlife populations. We do a lot of mapping, so we use GIS, which is a pretty growing field, particularly in wildlife these days. What else do we do? I think those are probably the big ones. In the Everglades, we do a lot of water level management. So we track water levels and look at what kind of ecological recommendations can we provide to other agencies that manage the water in the Everglades to benefit wildlife and the habitats out there. As far as advice for starting out in the field, your education is really important. A natural science degree is usually what people are going to look for. But the other big thing is experience. So just like was mentioned, trying to get out there and get some experience, volunteering or temporary seasonal type positions. We have a lot of those. That's really important so you can kind of see what aspects of wildlife you might like. There's a lot of different things to specialize in wildlife. There's a lot of research, there's management, like I said, there's statistics and mapping. So there's a lot of different things going on, and if you take some opportunities, even if you volunteer just a couple of days here and there, it'll give you a little bit of experience. You'll meet people in the field, can ask questions, find out what you like, and when you go to get jobs later, it'll really help because you'll be able to talk about, this is really what I want to do. I've had some experience in this, I've got the education, and now I'm ready to look for a career in it. As far as one of the things I really like about my job is I feel like I do something important, so that's really nice. I feel like I'm contributing to conservation, to keep some of these wildlife species that we have and these nice habitats that we have here to enjoy now and also for the future too. And there's a lot of variability in my job. You get to do a lot of different things. I drive an airboat now in the Everglades and I get paid for that, so it's a pretty cool thing. You get to do a lot of different stuff. So I think there's a lot of things to enjoy in the career.
All right, thank you very much, Marcia. Next, we have Gary Reardon from the School of Nursing here at Palm Beach State College.
Good morning. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this knowledge with you. Before I begin my conversation with you with regards to the profession, I did this presentation the other day at the Lake Worth campus, and I just want to share with you, I found this really interesting, I think 2 to 3 minute rap about math, and April's going to cue it up there, and then I'll talk to you a little bit further about math in terms of nursing. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna rap.
No, not me. White man can't rap. This is cool, but they are, yeah. So it's kind of cool.
That's cool. I want to go out on an airboat. You want to switch jobs for a day? I'd much rather do that.
I wish I would put down the other screen.
It's nice to get away.
Oh, I bet.
I don't get to do it as much now because I'm,
Yeah,
as you
there you
get
go.
higher, you get away from the things
Yeah.
you started doing.
I say the same thing. I lose a little bit. You don't
Yeah.
design as much as you
Yeah.
used to.
You're
You don't
managing the
get-
people that
Yes.
do.
Yeah,
all the
that
good
do the
stuff.
work that you're trained to do.
Now if we can go any higher.
Math is a class, either love it or hate it. Use it in your life after graduating. It's Pythagoras.
Your technology folks. Technology fails. There you go. All right, stay cool down there, Courtney.
Math is a class, either love it or hate it. Use it in your life after graduating. It's Pythagoras theorem and equation of a line. Learn to pay your tax when you go out and dine. Radius equals half the diameter. September up to June, you're gonna need the stamina. Do your homework, take notes, better study for your test. Success is what you get when you give it your best. Inverse, converse, and contrapositive. This class you're gonna pass if it's effort that you give. Come to class every day. Preparation is the key. It's Mr. M and Mr. D in the place to be. You can get the grades, don't have to be a mathematician. Calculator helps you with subtraction and addition. You're wishing that these formulas will stay in your brain. Math is like a sport, you better step up your game. It's automatic, mathematics is the class that you need. Participation is a step that you need to succeed. Come to class every day, do your homework every night, and every little thing is gonna be alright. It's automatic, mathematics is the class that you need. You gotta work hard if you wanna succeed. Come to class every day, do your homework every night, and every little thing is gonna be alright. Why we gotta do this? Come on, teach, what's the reason? We're preparing you for life, and wait, you have to pass the regions. Area of a circle, circumference, and pi. Probability, my favorite when we're rolling a die. Oh, with a deck of cards, what's the chance of getting aces? 4 out of 52. There you go, you're going places. When you have a histogram, numbers gotta tally. And what about PEMDAS?
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Get your pencil out if you're willing and able. Memorize your P's and Q's when you do a truth tables. Walk into the room, you're here to learn, don't be a slacker. GFC, nuts double bubble when you factor. Do you know what I mean? Median mode. Statistics are terrific when you go with the flow. And if you don't know, you better ask for help. Teachers got the knowledge, but it starts with yourself. It's automatic. Mathematics is a class that you need. Participation is a step that you need to succeed. Come to class every day, do your homework every night, and every little thing is gonna be alright. It's automatic. Mathematics is a class that you need. You gotta work hard if you wanna succeed. Come to class every day, do your homework every night, and every little thing is gonna be alright. Rectangle, triangle, parallelogram. In case you didn't know, let me tell you who I am. Mr. MC, E equals MC squared. Math is your friend, ain't no need to be scared. It's just numbers and graphs, calculators and problems. Guaranteed an answer when you work hard to solve them. Solve for X, what the heck, what you put in, what you get. If you wanna make sure to solve and check. Plotting points on the graph, horizontal X-axis. Gotta know percent when you figure out your taxes. Did you hear about the seed that grew into a tree? Grew up nice and big and said geometry. Get it, geometry, and I'm rhyming for free. A lesson being taught creatively. A math rap, yes, and it's one for the ages. A teacher getting down and the sound is amazing.
All right. At this time, I'd like to ask my esteemed colleagues on the platform to join me in another rap. No, I'm just kidding, just kidding.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for perpetuating that myth that math professors are weird. Thanks.
Couldn't help it. Anyway, as a registered nurse, I'll be actually graduated 30 years as a registered nurse this year, and I started very young. Started when I was 12, but that's I'm just kidding. But let me tell you something. It is a very, very good profession to be in. It's certainly mobile. You can go anywhere you want in terms of nursing, but there is math involved. All jokes aside, let me ask you a question. Would you want to be a patient in a hospital where staff members don't know how to calculate their medication dosages? Exactly. So let me give you a quick quiz. Medication ordered, 1,000 milligrams. All we have available is 500. How many do we give? Hey, good. You need to give him a prize. But you see, that's exactly. But that, yeah, we'll give you 3 credits. How's that? So, but anyway, you see, that's where we're talking about with regards to calculations. And that calculation starts from day 1. You really have to know what it is you're doing. Now, it gets worse in terms of when you're calculating dosages with regards to kilograms, in terms of body weight. So that's why when you have patients coming in and they'll say to you, well, the last time I weighed was X amount, then you're going to give that medication based on that. So that's why we truly need to understand and know the weight in terms of that person, because we want to make sure that we give the right dosage. Just to give you, put this in perspective for you, 33,000 obituaries were filed in 2005 for drug overdoses. All right? 33,000. So you see, that to me is phenomenal. Now, that's the ones that we know. How many medication errors went unreported that we don't know? So that's why you have to take the stand with regards to these things. You have to understand what it is you're doing. Not saying that you can't do it, but you can. The question is, you know, what do I like about my profession? I love being a registered nurse. I love to do what I'm doing. I've spent 25 years out in our hospitals in this area, hospitals in Palm Beach County, as a associate chief nursing officer, and also a director of surgical services. So I ran many operating rooms in our county to make sure that those patients get what they needed in terms of their surgery. The one thing that I can't say I really don't like a lot of things about my profession. What I guess if I had to choose something is that the misunderstanding from the public, that they really don't understand what it is we do. As a registered nurse, I take my job very serious. And I think that you need to understand what the profession is you're doing, because you need to give it a credit where credit is due. So I just, for your own sake, if it's nursing you want to do, then really think about what it is you're trying to do in the long run. It's not just a job, it's a career. And it's something that will get you to wherever you need to be. You can go anywhere in the world as a nurse. Now, as an RN, it's great that you got your RN, but more and more now, hospitals are waiting to hire bachelor-prepared nurses because statistics, and I'll give you research, we now have research to show that outcomes or mortality rates are lower in hospitals with nurses who are bachelor's prepared. So with that, I'm not going to say anything else, but you know, if you have any questions, obviously I'll certainly entertain some at this point in time. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Gary. And at the end of the presentation, we're going to have a question session. You know, but there is something I wanted to have you touch upon. You know, I travel around the country and I see a lot of my former students and alumni from Palm Beach State College, and the number one profession I see them in is nursing. Okay, I was in Aspen skiing. I broke some ribs. I go in there. The radiologist student is from Palm Beach State College, and the nursing, you know. So, you know, and I hear from students that are going to nursing how easy it is to get a job anywhere in the United States you'd like to go. And the other thing is, what do these students have to do now, working on their associate's degree, to get into the bachelor's program from nursing?
That's a very good question, thank you. The associate degree, for example, if you want to get into it, there's certain courses, and I would advise you to meet with your personal advisors in terms of baccalaureate prepared, and then talk with them about, or even to the RN program. You might want to discuss with them, because what will happen is they have the information available to them that hospitals or what's available out there. You just need to concentrate on what it is you're doing, get those courses, get the general education courses done, and then get into the nursing courses. For example, once you get your associate degree in nursing, then you come into the bachelor's program where I am, and all we have, there's no lower level courses, all we have are 12 nursing courses. It's a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing with a focus in leadership. But in order to get that, you have to get the RN first. And in order to do that, you have to concentrate on getting your general education courses done, getting your math out of the way, getting your literature, all those things, all those courses. And then what happens, some of these, obviously this degree that we have set up at Palm Beach State College right now, I already have it articulated into FAU for their master's program, so they will accept this bachelor's degree. But for those of you now just getting into the nursing, you really need to work with your advisors on campus to make sure that you are ahead of the game and that you are not taking courses that you don't need, and to make sure that you're taking courses that you do need and they are transferable.
All right, thank you, Gary. Our next speaker, and again, I'm going to have to, she's a Palm Beach State College alumni, Bachelor's in Science and Civil Engineering, Master's in Science, Project Management, and she's in charge of the I-595 Express Corridor Improvements Project. And I have some questions for you at the end. But let me introduce, is it Tinu? Tinu?
You're doing good.
Peña Akinika. Akinika. All right. Tinu? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I don't have a rap for you, but I can tell you, if anybody knows of engineering, you know mathematics is very critical to the degree, in obtaining the degree, and you will do take a variety of math class, from algebra to trigonometry to calculus, depending on where you are level-wise. In addition to that, you'll be taking differential equations, statistics. So, in essence, for the engineering degree, you do need to focus on a lot of the math classes and make sure you do well, because if you don't, it will inhibit you from proceeding to your core classes, in which a lot of those entails calculations on certain elements. So before I go into that, I want to tell you a little bit about some of the courses that are critical to an engineering degree. and more particularly civil engineering, which I was my main focus. Civil engineering entails roadway construction, vertical construction, your buildings. You have engineers that work on that to make sure it's structurally sound. Your roadway, you have engineers that work on that to make sure that they are structurally sound, that you don't have a sinkhole when you're driving. Make sure that the water drains when it rains, and make sure that if you pollute the water, there's some system on how to clean the water so we don't have pollution going into the aquifer. So our job as civil engineers is very critical to the survival of us as human beings, because if our waste products never get processed properly, we will have a lot of diseases whereby you have to go to the hospital to see him. So for us, we take our job very seriously because health, safety, and integrity is very critical to our profession. So essentially, what I would say, to give you an advice, if you would like to go into engineering, know what you really like to do, because engineering is very broad. Civil engineering in itself as a profession is very broad, because I can go into forensic engineering with a civil engineering degree. I can become a structural engineer with a primary focus on concrete or steel, or you can go into stormwater management, which focuses on drainage and stormwater management treatment. And you can go into environmental engineering, which focuses on a whole separate, genre of things. So if you have a passion for a certain element and you're interested in going into engineering, see how it fits and try interning to see if you really like it. You might have this passion for it, does not necessarily mean that you want to work in it. So try and intern to see if you like it. If you don't, try other areas and to determine what you really like. For myself, I've always enjoyed building things. So hence I got my AA here in architecture. So merging that with civil engineering works very well for me because it allows me to read plans, whereas some engineers that primarily go into construction management, which is what I'm doing right now, don't generally have the basic idea of how to read plans. So if you're looking for complementary degrees to do with engineering, that would be a good one to do with engineering architecture, because it allows you to understand how to read blueprints and translate information from paper to physical elements. Engineering will allow you to do the design. It will allow you to do analytical study, so you do more research than more so design. And design is basically those people that put the construction plans together so that they can build the roads or the buildings. Also, engineering allows you to go into management, and you can go into project management as compared to construction management. Project management allows you to look at the financial aspect of a project, seeing how you can take the project from the beginning to the end, meeting your budget, meeting your schedule, and meeting the costs. All those three elements play into math. You need to know how many days it would take for you to dig a hole in order for you to estimate the number of people that's gonna dig the hole, in order to estimate how much dirt you need to get out of the hole. So you need to know math. Construction management also is a hybrid of project management, but it doesn't deal primarily with the financial aspect or scheduling. What that deals with, it deals with ensuring that the project gets built by plan. You'll be so surprised that 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch can cause a bridge or a dam or anything not to be open because of the safety factors that are normally calculated into it. So it's very critical for you or whoever decides to go into engineering to know that every period you put their decimal point, every calculation you do, it's very important that you do it correctly. A mistake can cause a huge disaster. I don't know if any one of you heard of the Big Dig in Boston? Yeah, you had a lot of fatalities just on that project alone because of calculation errors and things of that nature. One thing that we emphasize in our profession is quality control, in which you might do the design and you might get tired of seeing it 24/7, and you need somebody to look at it for you. Don't feel like, oh, this person is checking my work. Know that you're doing it for the public good. Have somebody check it to make sure you're doing it correctly, and move forward from there. What do I like about my job? It's versatile. I can go into various areas should I choose to. Prior to working on this